Okay, so welcome to my How to Buy a Hotel Challenge. You're gonna be with me for 4 days. For those who don't know who I am, my name is Davonne Reaves, also known as the Hotel Queen. I've been in the industry for over 15 years. I started off as a front desk agent. I've been in the industry, like I said, for 15 years, feasibility studies, asset management, been in the industry and managed over $1 billion in assets. I had $30 million in assets. We actually just sold 2 hotels. I need to update that. So now it's probably $9 million in assets under management because we just sold them. Have a book called How to Buy a Hotel. I've raised over $4 million for hotel deals and other real estate asset classes. And to date, since 2019, I helped create over 200 Black hotel owners and investors get in the game. So just to let you know, you're in some good hands, okay? So I've been featured in just about everything with the exception of Essence, some awards, Georgia State University, 40 Under 40, International Society Hospitality Consultant Emerging Leader, Top 100 Influential Hospitality Leaders from the Hospitality Institute. So these are the hotels that were in my portfolio. The first hotel that I acquired out of corporate was this Home2 Suites in El Reno, Oklahoma. We acquired it for $8.3 million. The next two, which we just sold, the 145 room Staybridge Suites, we acquired those 2 hotels in 2021 for a total of $17.8 million. We sold the Staybridge first. We sold it for about 17 million. And then we sold, 14 million. We sold it for 14 million, which wiped out the loan for the Hampton Inn. And we just sold the Hampton Inn for about $8.2 million. So we generated about a $5 million profit for the ownership group as well as the investors. So throughout the challenge, I'll be teaching you different strategies as well as bringing our asset manager, Tommy Breyer, so you can learn how we were able to do that, okay? All right, so these are my brands. Davonne Group, which is my consulting firm. It was my first baby. Stay Black Experience is my directory of Black-owned hotels. Vestor is a crowdfunding platform where you can invest in commercial real estate. Investor Academy is the educational arm. All right, so just giving you a challenge overview. So 4 days, one goal, hotel ownership or hotel investing. So tonight we're going to talk about having the mindset or shifting the mindset to a hotel owner, right? Tomorrow, we're going to talk about how to find, analyze a deal. Day 3, we're going to talk about how to buy a hotel internationally. And day 4, we're going to talk about how to use other people's money to fund your deal. All right, so how I got my start in a hotel ownership. I get this question all the time. And actually, I really didn't get into hotel ownership until I changed my circle. And also the biggest thing is I changed my mindset, right? Your mindset is very huge and what you can do. I'm probably in my immediate family, I'm probably the only entrepreneur. My dad he retired as a fireman. My mom was in human resources. You know, my brother is engineering. My older sister, she was in healthcare kind of. And my younger sister, she's in politics. So I was like the true, entrepreneur in the family. And I don't think I wasn't conditioned to get in commercial real estate. You know, it was just like everyone I knew, everyone pretty much in my family, we owned our home. So that wasn't the aspire to owning a home. But really what shifted my mindset into getting into hotel ownership or buying a block would be, changing my mindset. So I stopped thinking small. Because if you want to buy a hotel, you definitely have to think big. You have to take risk. It's complicated, and it's a huge asset, right? I haven't seen a hotel less than $2 million. So it's definitely a huge asset class. Okay. Changing my circle. I was getting in the rooms where the deals were happening. Our first rooms I were getting into, they didn't look like me. It was people from the Indian community who owns over 60% of the hotels. So getting into those spaces definitely shifted my mindset in the hotel ownership. So basically the moral of the story is you don't really need more time. You just need a new belief and a new environment. Y'all feeling me? Is making sense? Y'all still with me?
Hey, I
Yeah.
have a quick question. The only thing that I can see is just the first slide from your PowerPoint. And so if what you're saying is
Does it say how I got into hotel ownership?
no, it says this the first slide that says how to buy a hotel challenge.
Does everyone else see the same thing?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
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 Okay, let's see. Okay, what can you see now?
Okay, that's better. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for saying that. Okay, so the moral of the story is basically is how I got into hotel ownership is you don't need more time. You just need a new belief in a new environment. Okay. All right, so we're gonna take a poll. I want to make things interactive. Okay. All right, so if you go into the chat, hold on. Here you go. There we go. Okay, everyone should have received some type of a link. Or not link, but just a question asking you what's your favorite hotel brand that you want to say. And did everybody receive it in the chat?
I did.
Okay, good. Okay, let's see. So who's the favorite? So right now, Hilton is winning. I'm always shocked. It's usually Marriott. Hilton, okay, Hilton stepping up that game. Hilton is still winning. It's tied between Hilton and Marriott. Okay, Hyatt coming through, IHG coming through. It's still Marriott and Hilton. Marriott look like it's winning. Hilton's still in the chat. All right, Hilton. No. Marriott look like it's winning. Hyatt's third. IHG is fourth. I love independent boutique hotels. Boutique hotel. So a lot of people think boutique hotel is how the hotel looks. Boutique hotels is the size of the hotel. Oh, hi, Kaya. Okay, so it looked like we have a winner, Marriott. Marriott, based off of 20 votes, even some of the votes in the chat, it looks like it looks like Marriott is winning. Marriott and Hilton. Yeah. Yeah, probably Marriott. My favorite, I really don't have a favorite. I just go wherever I get the best rate. But I like Hilton because I get the best rate out of them. Um, Hyatt because I used to work at Hyatt, so I'm like a Hyatt girl. I love me some Hyatt, Um, so that's my vote. But these are hotels that you want to stay at the Marriott Bonvoy points. See, I don't have that many Bonvoy points. I got a whole bunch of Hilton Honors points though. I got a lot of them, like a lot of them. So yeah, I got a lot. Even though my son used them by mistake to buy some Amazon stuff, but hey, yeah, I still got a lot. Want to save them up, you know, for going somewhere tropical. Okay. All right. Share my screen. Okay. Can y'all see my screen? Okay. I can see what y'all see now, poll. All right. Let's go to the next thing. Okay. So all right, so why we start with mindset, right? So hotel ownership isn't just strategy, it's basically your identity, and you really have to believe it. And this doesn't even just apply for hotel ownership, this is apply for anything that you're trying to do in life, right? Owning a hotel or owning any type of asset definitely requires confidence and leadership. You have to be comfortable with big numbers, and you have to think like an owner and not like an employee. And I had to actually go through that because I started off as a front desk agent, and then just throughout my career in corporate and doing things, and then becoming a hotel owner and becoming a hospitality influencer is definitely a big shift. So it helps when you're having that mindset, when you're thinking like an owner and not like an employee. And so what does that mean? When you think like an owner, you have to make big decisions, you're taking on risk, and you're basically the boss. How many people trying to be the boss if they're not already the boss?
Yes.
I am.
Right. So you already have to have that mindset. So start working on that mindset with you. So that's why I wanted to start off with the first day of the challenge with your mindset, because that is the biggest thing. Because if you don't think that you're a hotel owner or whatever you want to do, because not everybody may not want to be a hotel owner. They probably just want to invest and do something else. Whatever it is, you have to embody it, right? You have to embody it and you have to believe it. You literally have to believe it. It's gonna be some folks who don't believe in your dreams, and it's going to be okay, right? And so these people on this picture right here, they're from my inner circle. We went to the Hunter Hotel conference earlier today. So having that Empire era mindset, you probably see my shirt. I gotta get you y'all shirts in the circle, especially you, Miss Darlene. So in my Empire era. So basically what that means is I'm still building my empire. I'm not finished yet, you know. But building your empire, what does that mean, right? Adding a port, having a multi-million-dollar real estate portfolio or whatever you want to build. It doesn't have to necessarily be real estate. It can be investing, whatever it is, whatever you're trying to do to build your empire. So building, being in your era where you're just owning your sugar honey iced tea for the folks that don't cuss, right? Um, Thinking decades, not days, right? Ask, taking that ownership and that leadership. How can I instead of can I, right? Focus on leverage and not labor, and understand wealth is built through system, teams, and ownership, right? Uh, Putting systems in place is crucial, and the reason why is in order for you to scale. You have when you don't have systems in place, and you have to be in every component of your business. I got Kaya, she's my project manager on, so she's helping me even, solidify systems in my own business in order to scale, right? Or businesses in order to scale. And so those are the things that you have to think of, because for my folks who's trying to own multiple hotels, you're definitely going to have systems in place, because you're going to have to deal with investors, you're going to deal with the properties. You can't be at the hotels all at one time. You can't check in everybody at the same time. You can't be in there cleaning the rooms. You can't do all that at the same time if you have multiple hotels. So that's why systems are in place and building teams. Y'all still with me? All right. So scarcity versus ownership thinking is not about your money. It's definitely about access. So let's go ahead and change that mind to I can't afford it. I think a lot of time people get stuck on really building their dreams and thinking big is that going with the negative mindset of I can't afford it. There's so many millionaires and billionaires who've been created, and they didn't come in a mindset where I can't afford it. They basically went in, who can help me fund it and how can I get it done? That's the mindset. Of course, you definitely gonna need money. I'm not gonna say that. Some people be like, oh, no money down and stuff. I'm not gonna say that that's a lot, because you need money, right? Everything has a cost. But you have to get out of the mindset of saying that you personally can't afford it. If you really want to make it happen, there's definitely a will and definitely a way. I've never done it before. Okay, don't let that stop you. Who can help guide you, right? What can you do to get it done? And I'm not ready yet. It's changing that mindset. I'm ready to learn and ready to take the first step, right? How many people are big risk takers? Put it in the chat. What? Won't have any risk takers? Well, I'll start. I'm a risk taker. Won't have any risk takers? Oh boy.
It's in the chat.
Oh, it's not showing on my end. Okay.
Yeah, I know I am.
Okay, good, good, good. I love it. Okay. We don't need another poll. All right. So the real cost of inaction. So how much are you losing by not owning real estate? How many people own real estate? It it can be your house, it can be a condo, it can be a quarter acre of land. It don't have to be anything magnificent or anything, large. Sometimes people they like, oh, I just own a house. You still own real estate, right? How long will you delay your legacy? And hotel deals don't wait. Mindset determines the momentum, okay? All right. So let's get started on your homework. So I definitely want you all to write your hotel ownership affirmation, right? And it again for my folks who like, I don't know if I want to be a hotel owner yet. Talk to me after we finish this challenge, Davonne. That's cool too. It could be a different affirmation. It could just be where I create income, impact, and legacy through real estate or through technology or through healthcare, whatever you want to do. The thing is, you really have to believe it and you have to speak it into existence, right? Another thing you want to do is change your environment. Reflect on who's in your circle now. If you're the smartest person in your circle, if you're the richest person in your circle, you need to change your circle, right? Make a list of 5 people you need to connect with this year. We still got about 6 months left in the year, so it's still time. Don't feel like, oh my gosh, it's July, really about to be August. It's too late. No, it's never too late. As long as you still have breath in your body and you can still get around, it's never too late. The next thing I want y'all to do is a lot of homework assignments. Is write a list of 300 goals you want to accomplish. And this probably really helped me on my hotel ownership journey or just thinking big. I was listening to Steve Harvey, and Steve Harvey mentioned, he was like, if you can't get the 300 goals, you're not thinking big enough. And it's actually harder than you think. You're like, oh my gosh, 300, that's a lot. That's nothing. But the purpose of this exercise is that it allows you to think. And it can be any type of goal. It could be you want to travel to Egypt to see the pyramids. That was one of my goals. I always wanted to travel to see the pyramids. I loved them ever since I was a little girl. I always said, that I wanted to speak at this conference that I spoke at earlier this year, the Hunter Conference. So anything like that, it doesn't have to, I said I want to own a hotel, said I wanted to be featured in Black Enterprise. I was featured in Black Enterprise. So all of those different things, it could be something, simple as you want to, ride on a boat or you want to get on whatever it is. It don't feel like you have to compare your list to anybody else's, whatever you want to accomplish. And it's probably going to be hard to do it overnight, but it's just like I still keep adding to my 300 goals. I've been working on it for years because you keep adding, because constantly you keep evolving and keep doing things that you want to do. So share in the Facebook group. Hope that you're all a part of it. It's Next Level Real Estate Facebook group. State your why. The mindset shift you're gonna make this week, because again, we're a community. We're in this together. Let's hold each other accountable, right? So your why, my why is my child. I have a 6-year-old. He keeps me going. He's my why. My why is my grandma. She worked so hard and sacrificed. So I want to keep going for her. I'm my why. I want to live my best life. It's certain things that I want to do. And so I'm my why. So think about what's your why, what keeps you going. And also committing to showing up live every night. Okay. So ownership is a habit. It's definitely not an accident. So, and if you haven't already grabbed the Hotel Success Kit, I'll go ahead and put it in the chat. So basically what the Hotel Success Kit is it's a workbook where we walk you through. It's a deal analyzer in there. It's also a workbook that outlines the strategy to get you started as far as your investment criteria. It will pretty much help you out throughout the challenge. The folks who are in the inner circle took the course, they already had a workbook, so you don't have to worry about getting it. All right. So tomorrow for day 2, Tommy's going to come through. He's going to walk. Tommy Bayer, he's the asset manager for my hotels, industry friend, been known for like over 10 years. He knows more about hotels than I do, but because he's been in the industry forever. And he's a good resource. So he's going to come through and walk us through how to find real hotel deals, how to analyze deals using the framework, what brokers and sellers are looking for. So you definitely don't want to miss tomorrow. Today was light because we focus on the mindset, but tomorrow is going to be where you want to be. Okay. All right. So thank you so much. If you're not following me on Instagram or TikTok, make sure you follow me. I'm on LinkedIn. Grab your workbook. We'll put it in the chat. And then join our Facebook group, Next Level in Real Estate. And as promised, I'm leaving some time for Q&A to answer any questions. What's the name of the Facebook group? I think the 369 method. That's really good at manifesting. Okay. Yeah, it is. So what Adrian mentioned is 369. So 369 is you write what you want. So I'll just say, I want to buy a hotel. You write it 3 times in the morning. And then you write, I want to, whatever your desired wish is, you write it 6 times in the afternoon. And then whatever your desired wish is, you write it 9 times in the evening. So you do it every single day, right? Literally every single day. Some people don't believe in manifestation. Some people do it anyway. They just don't realize that's what they're doing it. Because I know that's what I did when I bought my hotel. I just didn't know it was called manifestation.
Is it question time yet?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. Your first hotel, did you buy it in the city you lived in, or was it in a different city?
No, the hotel was in El Reno, Oklahoma. I live in Atlanta, Georgia. I put the Facebook group in the chat. I mean, not the Facebook group. I put the work.
That's fine. Well, what?
Okay. Okay, any more questions?
I'll go again.
Sure.
Okay, Oklahoma is not really a big travel destination, so are you like nervous about that? You know, like most people want to think Florida, Atlanta, that kind of thing.
It may not be a big travel destination to you, but it's a travel destination to somebody. And also, when you think of hotels, it may not necessarily be a travel because it could be for work. A lot of times people stay at hotels for work. So you have to think about that as well. So it's all a part of your investment criteria on who's your target audience. So that goes into play at a hotel that you're trying to buy. If you're buying a hotel near Disney World, of course, that's a tourist attraction. But our hotel is near an oil rig, so that's nobody's really going to the part where our hotel is in El Reno, Oklahoma. But it's a lot of oil there, so people are going there to work. And I just put the Facebook group in the chat. Kaya put my page. I put the Facebook group in the chat. So we got another question. Thank you for this. Some interesting hotels purchase. I'm retiring in October. Congratulations. I'm sure we're going to talk about it, but what is the take on condo hotels? I'm real estate broker in DR, and that is no new way. So more than just investing in condos. Oh yeah, condo hotels is not the new wave. It's been going on for years. It's been going on for decades. Condo
Davonne, do
hotels.
you invest in hotels or do you own them?
Oh, wait a minute. I'm gonna answer this and then I'll answer that. But with investing in condo hotels, so basically what a condo hotel is, it's a hotel and the individual units are condos that are owned by individual people. So what times people do, they buy the condo and it's a part of hotel. So let's say like Marriott Residence or something like that. It would be a Marriott resort, but it's an individual condo unit. So so the owner would have to supply the furniture and the equipment and everything, meaning the stove and refrigerator and everything. But you would split your profits with the hotel because they're gonna assist with the marketing and then they're gonna assist with the cleaning and everything. So you really don't have to worry about managing it. So if I was to do something international, I probably would do a condo hotel because I just don't have time to manage and dealing with all that. And then the question was, do I invest or own hotels? I do. I just sold 2, and then we have one in Oklahoma, El Reno, Oklahoma. So we have another question.
Okay.
Wellness travel is becoming a huge thing too. People are looking to escape major cities. Yeah, wellness travel is huge. I forgot the stat on it, but wellness travel is definitely growing. Again, it's all about the different, it's just going back to who's your target audience, right? I'm not necessarily a wellness traveler, but guess what? Somebody loves to do it. So if you're in an area that is maybe, that would make sense for wellness travel, like maybe near a spring or, maybe in a nice oasis, then it'll make sense because that's the target customer that you're trying to attract. We stayed in a condo hotel on vacation in Myrtle Beach recently. Yeah. So a lot of people do that. And, all the units are different. Sometimes the units are more upgraded, sometimes they're not because it's owned by individuals. So it just depends on how much they want to invest. You do have to pay the condo fees. You do have to pay like the CAM fees, meaning you have to pay, for the shared unit, just like you would a condo. They rent it out for you. So meaning, you know, so let's say you're going on, I'm just using Marriott residence as an example. So let's say you go to this particular hotel and you book it, you're booking it through their system. So it's twofold, right? Marriott, you're tapping into their reservation system if you buy a condo within that particular brand. So that's extra eyeballs, and you don't have to worry about trying to attract the guests. When you do it on your own, you either have to work with the management company or you have to do it on your own, and you have to figure out how can you market to get people to stay at your hotel and worry about a cleaning company. So when you work with the condo hotel, you don't have to worry about that. Okay, I think answered. Okay, I think I pretty much answered all the questions. A lot of the hotel questions will get through throughout the challenge.
Yeah, you're going.
On day, like tomorrow, we're gonna talk about how to buy a hotel or analyze a hotel. And then day 3, we're gonna talk about how to buy a hotel internationally. And then day 4, we're gonna talk about how to fund it. Hey,
I have a question.
yeah. I'm
Does being an
listening.
apartment unit, does being an apartment unit owner bring you more tax advantages than owning a hotel?
No, well, owning a hotel will probably bring you more tax advantages because you're owning the building. The condo
Oh,
probably,
okay.
but again, I'm not a tax person, so you'll need to consult your CPA, but probably you only can write off if you're paying the mortgage, the interest off the mortgage, because you don't own the building, you just own that unit. And then you probably can
Okay.
write off like the furniture that you purchased and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, that probably can help. Instead of you taking on the responsibility of buying a full hotel, you could just buy buy a condo, like, and I was looking at going to Anguilla one year and they had a condo hotel. So you can buy the condo, you can buy a condo in that hotel. Of course, they'll manage the reservations, they'll manage the cleaning. You would have to, of course, pay
Mhm.
the mortgage and everything, but you'll also have to furnish it.
And the more units the apartment has, I guess the more tax write-off, like owning a, I don't know, 20-unit apartment building versus a 10-unit apartment building.
Up, uh, oh, you mean for your taxes? Well, yeah, because you're writing off the depreciation, so it makes a difference on how big it is, and then also with the mortgage and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Mhm.
Does that help?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I always say start off with something that you can manage. You don't want to start it off with anything too big.
But you can always get someone to manage it for you, right?
Yeah, you can find somebody to manage it for you.
Mm-hmm.
And that you have a listing of different management companies that can operate apartments and hotels.
I know someone who manage apartments. The hotels can be a little, well, it's similar. So with hotels, there's not like a one size fit all with management companies. There's like
Mm-hmm.
a management company that manage boutique hotels, a management company that manages independent hotels, or a management company that will manage a convention style hotel. So it's a lot of different
Mm-hmm.
management companies. You have to figure out which one works for you. For example, you don't want to work with a management company and all their hotels are in New York City, and then the hotel you're looking to buy is in Richmond, Virginia. Those are completely two different markets. So that management
Mm-hmm.
company may not be familiar. They're going to market like they would New York. A New York traveler is different from a Richmond, Virginia traveler. So you need someone who understands how to market and get that guest, and then make the operation, make it make sense.
Mm-hmm.
So the hotel you just sold,
Mhm.
and you said, I think you said you got $5 million, to pay the investors and owners. What percentage of the money would the investors get?
Depending on how much they invest. And yes, we're meeting same time tomorrow at 7 o'clock. So it's just whatever they
Okay.
invested. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Got
Yeah.
it.
So it's whatever
Mhm.
if they contributed more, then they'll get more. So it's just based off what they invested.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now these are some good questions. Do we have any other questions? I
But
know
it's,
tomorrow we're gonna walk through how to find and analyze a deal. Wednesday, we're gonna talk about how to buy a hotel internationally, and then on Thursday, we're gonna talk about how to fund your deal using OPM.
yeah, can I ask you a question? Buying a hotel internationally, the taxes is a lot different overseas than here in the United States. Would there be any kind of discrepancy if you're trying to write off taxes internationally or here, or is it best about a hotel here in this country?
Yeah, that's a good question for your CPA because every country is different. Like I think in Belize, the taxes is like $100 for the year. So if you're trying to put, so it depends, and then I don't know if that will work for you here domestically because it's in Belize, right? Or a different country. So that's why it's good just to ask your CPA.
Okay.
Now, will we have a chance? Like, do you have a CPA that will be able to ask that question too, or are you saying like when we get our own CPA, talk to them at that time?
I have CPAs that I can refer out.
Okay.
Yeah, I have CPAs that I can refer out. And it's best to work with I know some people, they may have accountants who aren't, I just prefer to work with CPAs. It's just the level of sophistication and, you're dealing with a lot of complicated asset classes. Well, I do. You're dealing with hotels. So sometimes it's, and then you're dealing with layers, you're dealing with K1s. If you're dealing with investors, you're dealing with, depreciation, sometimes cost segmentation. So it's just like a lot of different layers that typically folks who got certified, because getting your CPA is not easy, right? It's not that many of them, not that many black any of them anyway. So a lot of times, I've noticed the folks who are not CPA. This is just what I've noticed. Not saying it's the case, but what I've noticed, the folks who aren't CPAs and they do taxes, some of the stuff they may not be able to handle or understand because just the level of sophistication, the complexity of the asset classes. So that's why I just say work with CPAs.
So do you know someone that's in Virginia or Maryland, a CPA?
I don't know anyone in those states specifically, but I have some who are licensed in those states, so that way they can help you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Can we get that info?
Sure.
Okay. Thanks.
And also, is it best to try to learn about, it makes sense to learn about the different real estate laws or laws in a country if you're planning on buying a hotel internationally, because I believe that their laws might be just a little different than here in the States. And a lot of things that may apply here might not apply there.
Yeah, that makes
Oh,
sense.
yeah, definitely. And we'll talk about that more on Wednesday. You definitely want to work with you. That's probably one of the first things you should do is understanding the municipalities or the country's laws when it comes to real estate. Sometimes it could be political. Sometimes you have to be a resident there. Like I see, you have to be a citizen of the country to even own over 51% of the land. So it can, you definitely want to understand, because I think a lot of times people go, oh, well, this is how we do it in the States. We're in a different country, right? And now they have their own way of doing things. Some countries move slower than others. Some countries, they don't have financing, meaning there's no lending opportunities and you have to pay for everything in cash. So those are just some of the things that you do have to think about, and we'll talk about more on Wednesday. Adrian, I saw that you had your hand raised.
I do. I have a question for you. So I know you said something about upfront costs, and I think most people don't know like the upfront costs, like how much. I know you don't know directly how much, but just around about how much you would need just to get a hotel deal started. Because every deal is different and the amount is different. I get it, but just around about.
I just always say a percentage, 20 to 30%. To your point, because every deal is different, every amount is different. So that's why I just say 20 to 30% that you'll need as a down payment. So that's like, you bought a house and they said, hey, you need 10% down payment. So what does that mean? That means let's say you bought a hotel for $2 million and you need 20% down. That's what, $400,000 that you'll need to put down, that you'll need to come to the table with. So that's what that means. So when people are like, how much do I need, or how much does the hotel cost? Because it is going to vary. So just how much you need down is 20 to 30%.
Okay.
So we got a question that says, how do I take ownership of a hotel that someone is paying taxes on? They are not selling it, as far as I know. Usually that goes through like an auction. I wouldn't even try to go that route trying to buy a hotel. I wouldn't even do it. The reason why, because you dealing with sophisticated buyers who gonna be paying for it in cash. And it's kind of, if you don't know, if you never bought a hotel before, I wouldn't try to do that, because you're taking on an asset that you don't know. It's not like buying a house, because you have to deal with the management company, you got to deal with the brands, you got to deal. It's not as simple as you would. It's just like taking over a house that person was delinquent on their taxes. So I would just get that out. Get it out your brain. Don't even try to use it as a strategy to buy a hotel. Darlene said, great question, Adrian. You got some more questions? You got another question, Adrian?
Oh, no, I don't. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
I
Great
have a
answer.
question, Davonne.
Hey.
Hi, it's good to see you. I think I met you a couple years ago at one of the Burr Academy
I would say you look
conferences.
familiar.
Yes. So, I'm actually, and I just love what you've done here, by the way. Thank you so much for putting us onto all of this great information. And I just have a question about, do you do any hotel developing, or do you run into any deals that need, like, let's say, for example, a ton of rehab that might have been sitting empty, that's a little bit older, things of that nature?
So I don't do development anymore. Tommy does. He's more of a consultant. And I don't recommend, and I'm sure he would agree, unless you have unless you have someone like him on your team, to do any type of hotel development. Like, get it out your brain. And the reason why, because it's very expensive. It's just money going out. So in a perfect world, it takes 2 years for a hotel to be developed.
Yeah.
That's from you buying the land or even having the land, getting approved by the lender, getting approved by the brands, and then construction. In a perfect world is 2 years. It's about 18 to 24 months. That rarely happens. Like, rarely happens. It's always something. Something always
Always
happens.
something.
And then guess what? You still got to put money out. You have nothing coming in. There's nothing coming in. Even until the hotel, once the hotel opens, it's still money going out, because you don't have anything to base the hotel on.
Right.
So, you don't know when it's a good season. The expenses are typically higher because no one knows what they're doing, because this is the first time this hotel was open. So
Right.
I don't recommend to anyone to do a development on their first try unless they're working with an experienced developer or they have a development consultant on their team. Guess
I
what?
see.
Which still costs, because
Of
you have to pay
course.
the consultant. You have to pay all these people. You have to pay a lawyer. You have to pay all these people, and you don't really get your money back until you get the loan, until you get approved for the loan. And that
And
can
that
take a
could
long
be
time. That could
years.
be years. And right now, lenders, they're not lending on development deals. Yeah, so that's just something to think about.
Do you
Perfect.
know
Well,
why
thank
they're
you.
not doing it?
Because the economy right now, because it was a shift, with the administration and uncertain, when it was the change of administration, it was the uncertainty with the markets. And so, a lot of folks laying off, and also lenders, they just get nervous. So it's just, so hotels is a very risky, I'm just gonna be honest. Hotels are very risky asset classes, and it can be difficult to get a loan. And the reason why it could be difficult to get a loan, not even just a development loan, but an acquisition loan, because hotel revenue was not predictable. One month you could be at 80%, the next month you could be at 20%. So with a development deal, it's even more unpredictable, because guess what? You're asking for a loan on a hotel that's not even here. So you're asking a loan for a business, and you're just hoping and praying with a wing and a prayer, literally, that this hotel is gonna work. And so you're asking a loan, a lender, to give you 20, $30 million. Hey, I need you to take a chance on me for 20, $30 million. So how many lenders are gonna be like, oh no? And then for the folks like, I want to start my own brand. Oh, get out the way. It's easier when it's like a Hilton or a Marriott, because they're like, oh, okay, well, I know we can get the money back from a Hilton or a Marriott. Maybe a Hyatt or IHG. Some lenders don't even work with brands like Choice or Wyndham. They only work with Hilton and Marriott, because they understand it. They know they're going to get their money back. So those are the things that you have to think about when you're getting, and we'll talk about it some more. It'll make sense. But that's why I don't say don't even do development, because it's just going to be hard. It's just difficult to get a loan, especially right now, because there's just uncertainty in the markets. And when travel is down, the hotel industry is down. When travel is up, when the economy is up, travel is up, right? Marcus, I noticed you had a question.
Yeah, I did. When I was joining a group, I saw they had different options. I want to ask, did you own any senior living?
No, it's just for folks who wanna we had at one point folks talking about senior living. So if folks want to learn more about it, we can bring the experts in. We're just trying to gauge to see people interest in what they're trying to do, so we can bring the right experts in to answer any questions.
Okay, thank you for that.
Oh yeah.
You can talk, man.
You can go through retirement homes and things of that nature. You could do all of that through REIT if you want to invest in that.
Yeah, some REITs, they do offer senior living, office, retail, hotels, hospitals. There are some student living. There are some REITs that do offer that, both public and private. You can go to REIT.com. Let's see, let me put it in the chat to learn more about the different REITs. And basically, what REITs, for those who don't know what it is, REIT stands for Real Estate Investment Trust, and it's basically a company that owns real estate. You invest in it, and they have to disperse 90% of their profits by law to their investors. So you're typically getting quarterly dividends. Folks are, and they're using it, and REITs are the companies that own like the big hotels and like the big real estate, because it's a lot of investors, they have a portfolio. It's easier for them to get a loan, so they're the hotels that are like, they're the companies that own like the Ritz-Carlton. Like that's typically those that type of, but when you do your research, and I have a course on this too, if you want to learn more about it. We won't have time tonight, but that's my thoughts on REITs. Oh, thank you, Darlene. It says, grab your works book on how to buy a hotel book by Davonne. I just closed on my passive investment, my first. I'm super excited. Oh yeah, that's right. You just invested in a hotel that just closed. Woohoo! Congratulations.
Nice.
Yay! Yeah, y'all closed last week, right? Yep. Congratulations. Congratulations. Yep. Yeah. I know. I remember when we first started off. Look at you, got your hotel.
Yeah, I was actually sorry about that. 'Cause I was actually trying to get it off mute, but yeah, we did, and it was a nice long journey, but it was worth it, and all the materials were super duper helpful. So
Oh,
I'm grateful for it, and I think
okay.
everybody should have them. It'll give you a clear indication of what she means by mindset, because it's a journey, but it's worth it, and I'm so excited.
I'm excited for you. Yeah, she invested in a property in it's an independent hotel in Louisiana. And so the opportunity was in it was well, I think the minimum to invest, here's the workbook for those who want to learn. The minimum to invest in that deal, I think, was like 13,000. Um, it was through my platform investor. And a lot of folks, a lot of hotel deals you need the higher 5 figures minimum investment. So we try to make things that's a little bit more affordable and attainable. Yeah.
So, Darlene, are you an owner or an investor?
Well, as an investor, you're an owner.
So
Oh,
I'm a
okay.
okay. I'm
Part
an answer
owner,
that.
but it's a passive. I'm a
Yeah.
passive investor.
Oh,
There you go.
I
passive.
wasn't
Okay.
an active investor. Yeah. So basically, it's still almost is the same thing. You're just participating
Okay.
in it, but you don't have the responsibility of all the work and everything that they have to do as the actual owners. But yeah, it's still very, very, very exciting. I can't even tell you.
Yes,
I'm
that's
excited for you.
wonderful.
Now, so to just
Wonderful.
add more, Miss Darlene, when you invest as a passive investor on the loan, now when she tries to get her hotel on her own, she'll have it on her resume that she is an investor, but to the bank, she's an owner. It doesn't matter what the
Oh,
percentage is. So that helps you get the loan, because a lot of times people, when they try to get a hotel loan, they can't get it because they don't have hotel experience. By you
that's
invest.
great.
That was actually my next question. Do you need a strong sponsor to get the financing?
It depends on the deal. Development, yes. Like development is hard. You're gonna need a good, solid team, because it's hard to get a loan for
Acquisition.
development. But for like acquisition, if you show that because they're gonna ask you your real estate, background, and if you say, I don't know, 0.5% of a hotel, then they're gonna include that. They're going to include that, so that'll help you because it's on your balance sheet, so it's going to show that you have experience, quote unquote.
Okay.
So okay, I see a question that says, I want this particular hotel. It's an independent hotel. The property has been abandoned for 4 years now, but someone is paying taxes on it. I want this particular hotel. I already did my research on this property. What's my first step? How do I know how much money I need to ask for? Okay, I hate to be, and I'm usually not a Debbie Downer. I'm really positive, but this deal, it don't need to be your first hotel. It is, for one, let's just go through. We got a couple minutes left. For one, it's abandoned. Hotel's been abandoned for 4 years. Why? That's my first question. Why was it abandoned? Was it because of COVID? Was it because of structure issues? And then it's been abandoned for 4 years. So then the cost of bringing that hotel, back up, which could be extremely expensive. And then you don't really know what you're getting into it until they start doing stuff. It could be asbestos, it could be it could be the foundation, could be horrible. The termites could have turned, you don't really know what you're getting into. So I wouldn't have, again, it's a lot of money going out. It may be hard for you to get a loan because technically it's a development deal. This is your first deal. Someone is paying tax. It's too complicated. I wouldn't do it as your first deal. If it was like, this is like your third or fourth deal, it maybe, but not on your first. It's just gonna be too complicated, and it's gonna be, then if you do get it, you'll have to put a brand on it because you won't be able to get a loan because independent. But the biggest thing, it's been abandoned for 4 years. Why has it been abandoned? And if it's been abandoned because of COVID or because nobody's staying there, that means they won't stay there probably when you reopen it, right? A lot of times hotels are closed for a reason. So let it be closed for a reason or convert it to something else. But I still wouldn't do it because it's just gonna cost a lot of money. I hate to be a Debbie Downer, but I'm also realistic too. I don't want to set you up for failure and you losing a lot of money because of COVID needs much TLC. That sounds like a lot of money. Yeah,
On
that sounds
the
like
extended stay hotels, do you prefer them? And do they perform better, you find, than the regular hotels, the extended stay model? And are they easier to finance?
you mean extended stay hotels? Oh yeah, that's what two of my hotels were in the portfolio. I would say yes, I would definitely recommend to start off with an extended stay hotel because they're more of a leaner labor model because it's not a requirement to clean the rooms every day. So housekeepers, they're not, because a housekeeping department is a large department in a hotel. So with an extended stay model, they're not cleaning the hotel all the time. They're not cleaning the rooms every day.
There's no breakfast, there's no, yeah, none of that stuff. It's
Right,
burnt.
yeah. And sometimes the breakfast attendant and the front desk attendant, they do the same. So the labor model is just leaner. So I would definitely recommend an extended stay hotel any day. It's harder to get into now because those hotels performed really well during COVID. So you're going against people like big companies like Blackstone and Noble that can pay for hotels in cash and they just and asking price and they just scoop it up. As before, probably 5-10 years ago, nobody was really looking at that asset class from a major hotel owner standpoint. And then going back to you, Crystal, it's a hotel and conference center run. I don't recommend full service hotels for first time hotel owners. Okay, I know it. You trying to pitch, girl? No, just put that on your vision board for like 5 years. I wouldn't do it now. I'm not saying you can't do it. I'm just saying I wouldn't do it as your first hotel because hotels and conference centers, it's expensive because with the conference center, you got to factor in food and beverage, which is another expense. So you don't want to you want to understand the hotel business, right? And if you're getting in something that's complicated, because full service hotels with conference centers, you have the room revenue, you have meeting revenue, and you have food and beverage. You have all of those different things that you need to figure out and wrap your brain around, which is a lot. You may have to bring in a management company, which will have to manage that, right? Then you're dealing with all of these different things that you got to wrap your brain around, and it's too much, and it's gonna be a lot of money going out, and it's gonna be a lot of time, and you probably won't even get the loan. Like, I'm just gonna be honest. So I don't want you to spend a lot of time on something and you probably won't even get the loan to get approved for it. And I don't want you to put out any money and you lose it. And a lot of people do it. They don't ever listen. I say it, but I'm just, I don't want you to lose money if you don't have to. It says work at a hotel, the owners are considering the sale a part of equity for renovation. Would you lean towards that as a first deal? I don't know what you mean by that. Are you trying to work with the owners to come in for sweat equity? I don't know. Because a lot of times with established people, you got to come in with money. So I don't know what you're trying to do. Okay, are you trying to come in with sweat? So what does sweat equity mean? You working for a discounted rate, and probably they gonna want a general manager if you coming in like that. And then sometimes what they do is they'll give the general manager like a little extra equity, but so that way they could take care of the hotel. Yeah, a lot of general managers do that in the smaller hotels. They come in with the general manager level, and then the owner gives them like an extra, percentage of equity of ownership. And sometimes people they get in that way. So yeah, if you can get in that way, I would. It don't be that much equity. It'd be like maybe like 1 to 2%, 0.5 to 2%. It won't be that much. Don't go and ask them for 5. You're not gonna, I don't know about all that, but 1 to 2%.
Now that Darlene is an investor with the hotel down in Louisiana, what are the tax advantages that she gets now, being an investor with the other group?
Since it was an acquisition, she'll get a K1 next year. So she'll be able to write off the depreciation I don't know if they did a cost segregation analysis, but if they did a cost segregation analysis, which pretty much writes off the different things, the furniture, and just they segregated it to get more of a tax incentive, that would be, she would see whatever she invested in this year, she'll see it for her tax for next year by her investing this year. So she'll get a K1 by March 15th. And she'll be able to use that to help with her taxes. These are good questions. Well, I think I answered everybody's questions. We'll see you all tomorrow at 7 p.m. Same link, same time. We're gonna have Tommy Bayer. He's gonna walk us through how to find and analyze a deal. The biggest thing is how to analyze a deal. So we'll see you tomorrow. Do we get badges? Oh, not this time. Just post it in the group. Just post your homework in the group, and then you'll get a replay for you'll get a replay from tonight.
Okay. Thank you,
Okay.
Davonne.
Thank you all so much. Not a question, but Damon. Oh, tell him I say hi.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you all so much. You all have a great night. I hope that you all learned a lot tonight. Hope your mindset is changing. Don't forget your homework. Have a good night.
It's exciting. Good night.
Good
Good
night.
night.